Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. Thank you very much for joining. So in this lesson, we are going to look at too much, too much, too many, and not enough. So that's the grammar point that we're going to be looking at today. But in terms of the actual topic that we'll look at, we're going to use different aspects. Well, we'll jump from different topics so we can have a bit more of a variety, really, when it comes to using this particular type of language. It's one of those things whereby it's not the hardest bit of language, but it's a type of language that sometimes can just change meaning just a little bit. And sometimes we might even be a little bit confused what the difference might be. This is definitely something that you learn at a lower level, but there's always room for improvement at the higher level. Leondina says, hi, Richard. Hi, Leondina. Welcome to today's lesson. Irina says hello as well. Hello, Irina. Welcome to today's lesson. Look, today it's not too bad, actually. It's a nice day. It's nice weather. But it is hot, and it is getting too hot. And actually, that gives me an idea for the first one that I could potentially write as an exercise. I'll prepare that at the moment. But let me know how you guys are. I hope you're well. I would say, yes, actually, that would be quite a good one to put in. Sandra says, hi, Richard. Hi. Sandra, lovely to see you here. I hope you're all doing well. One of the things that is definitely going to make a big difference as well is making sure that we understand word categories when we look at this as well. And I think that's one of the areas that might begin to become a little bit, it's the thing that can make this a little bit harder, this particular language point. So we can understand the basics, but there are certain language factors that we need to make sure we know, and that's to do with the word categories as well. Alejandra says, hello, Alejandra. Welcome to today's lesson. Evelina says, hi. Hi, Evelina. Welcome to today's lesson. Thank you very much for joining. Okay, right. Well, we're already 3 minutes. We're only 3 minutes into the actual lesson. I'll give people just a few more minutes to join us. Elena says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Elena. Welcome to today's lesson. Thank you for joining. Right, guys. So we'll start off with the first one, and I just want to see what you guys do in terms of your answers. So that way, I'll get to see what you guys currently know and where the possible difficulties might be. So this is the first one, and this is a choice. You guys just need to tell me which ones are correct and which ones are not correct. And maybe if you could, some of you perhaps tell me as to why. Yes, I think the next one I've got ready as well. So yes, guys, just let me know. Do you think it's too hot, too much, or too much heat? Which one is going to be correct? And why? Paolo. Hi, Paolo. Welcome to today's lesson. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you are well. Okay, guys. Once we've gone through just the beginning stage, we'll then start. We'll then start using different contexts to actually try and make sure that we use this properly when we're talking about different things. So Alejandra has come in straight away with too much hot. Do you guys agree with her? Do you agree with too much hot? Don't forget, guys, you've got three options there. So either all of them are right, all of them are, no, one of them is right, all of them are right, or two of them are right. So you might find, Alejandra, for example, that there might be another one that you might think is correct that we can say. But let me know, what do you guys think? Sandra says too hot and too much heat. So slightly different from Alejandra. We'll see if a third person can come in with their thoughts on what the answer might be. Don't forget, guys, make sure that you do like the video and share and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I'll give you guys just a couple more seconds, and then I'll tell you what the correct answer is over here. We'll go through some examples, and then we'll start putting this to different contexts as well. And that can make it a little bit more fun as well. Well, I can tell you this, guys, the correct answer here is, you've got two answers here that are going to be correct. And the correct answer here is too hot and too much. Maria. Hey, Maria. I haven't seen you for a while. Welcome to today's lesson. Thank you very much for joining. We've got too hot, and then we also have too much heat. So the reason here is the answer here is too hot and too much heat. There is a reason, which we will look at after the next, well, we can look at that now. So the reason here is when you use too much, Elena thinks all of them are right. You're close, but not quite. I can't say too much hot. That's the one I cannot say, and there's a reason for this, okay? So I can say too plus an adjective, such as too hot, which is why I can say that. It's a gradable adjective as well, and that's an important thing. So I can say too hot, but I cannot say too boiling or too freezing. They are extremes. So I can't say too delicious. It doesn't make sense. We have something called gradable adjectives. When it's an extreme, I can't use too. Anything in the middle, I can. So I can say too hot. I can say too nice. I can say too ugly, for example. Too cold. These are gradable, and I'll put this in gradable adjectives, okay? Because we can say very. If you can put very, it's probably a gradable adjective. So I can say it's very hot, too hot, very nice, too nice, very ugly, too ugly, very cold, too cold. So these are gradable adjectives, but I can use too and add plus an adjective. But if I want to use much, too much plus, now I need to use a noun, but I need to think carefully. So we can see here that heat is the noun of cold. Now, we have to be careful here. Let me see what you guys say for this one. Which one is correct here, guys? So we've got too much plus a noun. Too much water. Is that correct? And can we also say too much bottles of water? Bottles, it is a noun. So both fit that grammar structure, but are both of them correct? Is only one correct? Let me know. which one is going to be correct? Which one do you think is correct? Or maybe you think both are correct. Let me know. Because we do need, when we use much, we do need to add a noun after it. Like I said, guys, once we go through the beginning, just to see what we all know, we then will start adding different we'll start putting topics to it. Leondina says too much water. Sandra says both correct. Paolo says too much water. Alejandra says too much water. Massimo, good afternoon. Massimo says too much water. Okay, the correct answer here, and Maria says too much food. Okay, too much plus, and this is important here, singular noun or uncountable noun. Okay, and that's an important one, uncountable noun. That's why we can say too much water, too much rice, too much pasta. These are uncountable nouns. It has to be a noun. Actually, to be honest with you, let me just rewrite that first one, actually. Much plus uncountable noun, sorry. Too much plus countable noun, uncountable noun. So too much water, too much rice, too much pasta. What happens when we use many? Well, you guys can tell me about this. Which one do you think makes more sense here? Which one's correct, or which ones are correct? Too many child, too much children, too many children. Which one do you think is correct? Or which ones do you think are correct? So we can see here much, we've specifically said plus an uncountable noun, like heat, for example. You could also use heat, you could use growth, for example. You can't hear me, Sandra. Okay, sometimes I can't hear you. Okay, let me know, guys, if... Ooh, maybe it's the fan I have. Okay, maybe there's interference from the fan. I've turned my fan down. I'll speak a little bit louder as well. Hopefully that's better. So, we've got Leondina. I hope this is better. Maybe I should keep it a little bit closer. So Leondina says too many. Okay, so Paolo can hear me well, and Alejandra can hear me. Okay, maybe it was the fan. I don't know. Leondina says too many children. Alejandra, too many children. Sandra, too many children. Massimo, too many children. Excellent. Well done, guys. And this is important. When you use many, it needs to be with a countable noun. Okay, well done. Oh, I can hear. I can hear. When you listen, you hear. Okay, so I can hear you. That's the correct one. I can hear you. I can hear you well. I can't hear you well. So those are your options. Those are your options when you want to tell someone if you can hear them or not. Okay, guys, really good. Now we've understood. Much plus an uncountable noun is necessary. It isn't necessary to put the microphone near me. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thank you very much, Alejandra. So much plus an uncountable noun, and then we have many plus countable nouns, and that's what you need to know. You just need to remember that you know your nouns. Let me just make sure you guys all know this. So I'm going to put some adjectives here. I'm going to put some words here. Can you tell me what the noun is? So, for instance, we've got grow, we've got hot, got cold. Let's see. Another one that I could use. Actually, no. I'm just going to use those two for now because I can't remember the others that I was thinking of. Ah, that was it. Okay, let me just make sure that all of you know what the nouns are to these to these words over here. You will see that we've got grow, which is a verb, though, and then you've got hot and strong, which are adjectives. So just let me know if you guys know what the nouns are to these words. It is important to know your nouns, and you'll find that the nouns over here are a particular type of nouns between countable and uncountable. And then we'll look at not enough. Actually, there's a few things we can look at not enough. The difference between not enough and that's enough. It's important to know how to use enough properly. And then we'll start putting this into actual topics where we can share opinions on different things, such as to do with food, maybe. Taste, very good for taste. We can also talk about news and stuff like that. So just let me know, guys, what is the noun of grow? What is the noun of hot, which we looked at the beginning? And what is the noun of strong? And why could we use it? Actually, we can also add another one. A verb, inform, to inform. So Leondina says, okay, growth, strength, just make sure the order of the H and the T, that's just what we call a typo. So it's not a mistake because you don't know. It's a typing mistake because you type quickly. And then there's, so the word or the letter order. Alejandra, too much. You will be able to use too much with their nouns, yes. But now you need to tell me, though, what are the nouns? So Leondina has said the noun of grow is growth, which is correct. Grow, and then you've got growth. That's off to a good start. You've got strong, and you are right, Leondina. The noun of strong is strength. What about the other? What about inform and hot? What about inform and hot? That will be that's an important one to know. And then we'll move on to not enough. Pretty sure there's a song with not enough. Not enough. What am I thinking of? Oh, I'm thinking of a James Bond song. The world is not enough. Do dom dom dom. That was actually a good James Bond film. We're going to always talk about that. That's a good one, actually. Okay, guys. Let me see what you guys think. I'll give you a couple more seconds, and then I'll tell you. So we've got hot and inform. What are the nouns of hot and inform? Heat and information. Well done, Leondina. Correct. So yes, you can say too much information, too much strength, too much heat. That would be important when cooking. So well done, guys. Good. Well done. Now, let's look at enough. It is not enough. Elena says, actually, before I move on, Elena says, something strange today. I see a chat first, and then I hear what you say. I am confused a bit. So first, you see the chat, then you hear what I say. Oh, that's because it's me. That's me. I'm speaking faster than I can write. Or are you hearing it the other way around? Oh, first you see the chat, and then you hear what I'm saying. Okay, maybe there's a delay in when I type to when I speak, because that's interesting. You have a few technical issues as well, Sandra. Okay, I think there's a delay with the chat. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll I'll remember that. I'll remember that, meaning I'll bear that in mind. Okay, so I think I need to wait maybe a minute. I think there's like a 30-second to 1 minute delay in the live chat. So I will bear that in mind. If I bear that in mind, it means I will remember. So I will, I need to write faster than I think. Okay, so we are now going to look at not enough. Okay, so you've got it's not enough. It's not enough to say it's not a problem. They are not good enough. Okay, so I know there's going to be a delay. So when you see this come through, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. The important thing to remember is, guys, is the structure. You've got, in fact, I'm going to ask you guys, actually, can you tell me what the structure is when using not enough? So when you see the live chat, let me know, what is the structure? Can you tell me? We need to think about the verb to be. We need to think about not, and then we need to think enough. You're not. Let me know, guys, what do you think the structure of this is? Because you will see that we need to think about the verb to be. We need to think about, can we use an adjective? And then what do we mean by enough? I would always say, guys, when you think of enough, think of a glass and think of a glass of water. The best way to think about it is, if it's down here, it's too little. So if it's too little, it's not enough. So that's one way to remember. Maria says she is taking lessons only, but is not enough. Oh, you're really close. She's taking lessons, but it is not enough. You're just missing the it, Maria, and then you would be 100% correct, but it's not enough. It is not enough. Paolo says verb plus not plus enough. Good. That works. Leodina says be plus like is or are plus not plus adjective plus enough. Excellent. Well done, guys. Brilliant. You know the structure. So the best way to remember, guys, is not enough is always too little. Leodina, be not enough. Noun. It's not enough. Like not enough people. Yes, correct. Perfect, Leondino. Well done. Elena, be with your verb enough. Noun, good. We are enough. Yeah, you can use it positively. We don't always need to use it negatively, because if we think of our water example, if the water's here, it's too little, and therefore it's not enough. We can also use other words like it's not quite enough. If we get to about here, okay, you might say that's the right amount. So if it's the right amount, then it is enough. Enough. That's the right amount of water. And then if it's over here, it's too much. Too much. And that's the thing. We can't say too enough. The only way we can say enough as in stop is with our intonation. You would have to say enough. It comes from your intonation. Enough, to say enough, is to mean a stop. It's to mean stop. So stop. So if you say enough, it means stop. And that's something you might say. Like you might say, "Oh, enough, 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 enough." Okay, stop, 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 stop. You can also say that to people. So if people are shouting, you can say, "Enough, enough, stop, enough of this." For instance, that can mean stop this, whatever this is. Enough of this, stop. So if people are arguing at home, that's where you can then say, enough of this, stop arguing. You might say this to a child as well. Enough, stop. So we can't say too enough. That doesn't make sense. We would then just say enough, enough, for instance, or too much. But usually if you just say enough, normally you can say, okay, that's enough. That's good. That's the right amount. So intonation is going to make a difference between saying that's the right amount and stop. So we have to think of intonation. If it's the right amount, then we can say, okay, that's enough. If it's negative, like stop, then we have to say enough or that's enough. We have to change our voice. Voice? Why am I Dutch all of a sudden? We have to change our voice a little bit. We can also say I've had enough, which means time to stop something. So if you say I've had enough, you can say like I've had enough to drink. So we can say I've had enough, then the infinitive, to drink. I've had enough of it, like I've had enough of the argument, I've had enough of work, I've had enough of the relationship, I've had enough of the situation, whatever the problem might be or the situation. So if you said I've had enough, it means no more. So time to stop. So maybe again we can say this politely, maybe with food. Do you want more? No, thank you. I've had enough. No more. I've had enough. This is good. I am full. And then you can always use questions like, can you ever have enough pizza? Well, I don't know. Can you have enough pizza? In one sitting, yes. Although it has to be a big pizza. If it's a good pizza, it has to be a big pizza. I think, why am I thinking of pizza? Maybe I'm hungry. Okay, guys. So that is what we mean by enough. Now, let's start to look at this in a context. Sandra says, I have enough on my plate already. Okay, Sandra, that is very good. I'm going to ask you though, Sandra, what does that mean? Because I know not everyone in the live chat is going to know what that means. So Sandra, can you tell everybody, what does that mean if you say, I have enough on my plate? It's an excellent sentence, but what does it mean? Oh, I have enough on my plate, no more. What does this mean? It's a really good sentence. Because you've got this in terms of I have too much food on my plate, and that's one meaning, but it also has another meaning. So I'll be interested to know if you guys, for example, enough information. Okay. In terms of a context that could work. So, I'm enough tired. No, Alejandro, I can't say I am enough tired. You would just say I'm tired or I'm too tired. I can't use enough. You can say I have had enough sleep or I haven't had enough sleep. You can say that. Going back to this one though, I have enough on my plate already. This means I have enough. I have a lot of work, and I don't want any more. So I have enough on my plate already means I have a lot of work and I don't want any more. You can also say I have more than enough work at the moment. And that's another way of saying too much work. You can also use it in terms of talking about responsibility. So I have a lot, or maybe even too much responsibility. Um, yeah, Maria, yes, I have enough stress. I have enough stress, thank you. Yeah, you could use it like this. I have enough stress. I have enough. I have enough work. I mean, you can probably use I have more. I think it's quite good to emphasize it with I have more than enough stress to deal with. Actually, you could say I have more than enough stress to deal with. You could say that I have more than enough stress to deal with. That works, actually. Yes, you can say that. Well done, Maria. Good thinking. So let's think about context. Okay. Let's use this. So let me ask you guys a question and we'll see what you can say. What your thoughts are. Let's go with the size of something. In relation to food. So what type of food is too little? What type of food is a lot? So a lot. Okay, so as you can see, I haven't gone with too much or too little. I haven't gone with too much, not enough, or too many. I'm going to leave that up to you. So, for example, if we say like a 12-inch pizza, for me, a 12-inch pizza is enough. That's a good size. 16-inch pizza, I can eat, but that's more than enough. And if someone gave me a 20-inch pizza, I would say that is too much. That is too much for me to eat. And then if we think about ingredients, we can say, okay, for me, tomatoes, cheese, maybe pepperoni, that's a good amount. But if you have like 10, maybe even 5, 6, 7 different ingredients, to me that'd be too many ingredients on a pizza. I think it's easy to ruin a pizza. So let me know when it comes to food. Feel free to think of your own examples. Pepperoni is Ward Italian. Interesting. A Ward Italian. I'm trying to think of what you mean by ward in this context. Do you mean do you mean weird? Weird in Italian? Because that would make sense. Because I know that in Italian you would probably say salami. Maria says, I've eaten a buffet is more than enough. I've eaten. Just don't forget about your spelling of eaten, okay? So I've eaten a buffet and it is more than enough. Okay, so I've eaten a buffet, for example, and it is more than enough. So you can say that. A buffet is more than enough, usually. It's a lot. We can always talk about news as well, for instance. What is there more than enough? What is there more than enough of when it comes to the news? So that can be a question. What is there more than enough of when it comes to the news? Let's see if you understand that question. Alejandro said the sushi was enough. I don't know about you guys. Sushi, I find it difficult to judge how much sushi I can have because it's quite small. So you can think that you can eat quite a lot of sushi, but then when you start to eat sushi, you can get full quite quickly. Sandra says, how much fruit is there? But how many apples are there on the table? Don't forget, how many apples are there on the table? Yes, that would work. That's a good example. So we've had a little discussion about food. Now let's talk about films. Can you think of a film where there is, okay, a film, too much action? Film again. Too many let's see. Okay, actually let's go with TV series. TV series. Too many too many characters, and it's difficult to understand what is happening. Okay, and finally, a film again. Not enough. Not enough. Not enough. Not enough character development. Okay, so those are some examples. Now I'll give you an example for each one. Too much action. You could say something. Let's say actually. Okay, if we say too much action, we might say, okay, Fast and Furious. There's a lot of action. Some people might say there's too much action because it's all action. Sandra says there are too much brutal scenes in this movie. Okay, Sandra, I want you to think about, you've got much, then you've got brutal, and then you've got your noun, scenes. So should this be too many brutal scenes or too much brutal scene? Which one do you think makes more sense in that sentence? If we were to say series where there are too many characters and it's difficult to understand what is happening, I would say a TV series called Heroes and Lost. I never really liked either of them. There were too many people, too many characters, and it was difficult to understand what was happening sometimes. Then if we were to say not enough character development, for me, when we say character development, it means there's a character you are following. Let's say Luke Skywalker, James Bond, Peter Pan, that is a character. What do we mean by development? A character where there's a journey and they need to get better at something. For me, Rey in the new Star Wars films, for me, there's not enough character development. For me, she becomes too good at being a Jedi too quickly, much faster than like Luke Skywalker or Anakin Skywalker. So that's an example. The character becomes too good at a skill too quickly, and therefore we don't know enough about their story. An opposite would be the film Joker, the story of how the Joker becomes the Joker. There's a lot of character development in that film. It's easy to follow and understand how the character becomes the Joker. So that's when there is enough character development. Sandra says many scenes. Well done. Good. There are too many scenes. There are too many brutal scenes. Yes, that would make sense. So let me know what you guys think. I mean, look, certain directors, certain films, or TV series, there's a lot of character development. If you look at the Marvel movies, you might say films like Doctor Strange, there's a good amount of character development. If you look at something like Captain America, maybe there's not enough character development. If you look at Spider-Man, maybe you think there's not enough character development. So that's what we mean. And this is a good one to talk about when you think of stories. How does the story develop? Are there too many things happening in the TV series? Are there too many things happening in the movie? Or is there not enough of something? Is there too much fighting? Is there not enough fighting? Maybe there's not enough action in some movies. So it's hard to tell. I think there's a very famous film, Apocalypse Now. For me, it was too long. The length of the film was far too much. The character development, okay, there was some character development, but Apocalypse Now is tiring. It's definitely tiring. It's a long movie. Okay, guys, we are coming to the end of today's lesson. Just to remind you, tomorrow we will be looking at developing listening skills. So for tomorrow, what will be happening? I will prepare some listening activities. I'm going to be speaking, but you'll get to hear, listen, and there's some questions to answer. So I'm going to concentrate on some listening skills tomorrow. And what I'm going to focus on is some skills that can help you guys when listening. Evelina, you're welcome. Thank you very much for coming along to today. I think this grammar point, I think it was quite easy for most of you. Okay, so it's good to see that we all understood it seems that most of you understood what how this grammar works, really. So I'm happy to see that. Let me know, guys, if there's anything else that you want me to look at, maybe for next week. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Sandra, thank you very much. Have a good afternoon. And hopefully see you guys tomorrow. You're welcome, Leondina. Have a good evening. Have a good afternoon. Thank you for all of you who have commented in the live chat. Thank you for liking the video. Make sure you do like the video if you haven't liked the video yet. And I will see you guys tomorrow. So thank you very much. And yeah, excellent. Don't forget to subscribe, share as well. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 4 o'clock with the listening as well. So thank you very much. Bye for now. Have a great afternoon. And if you do like watching football, enjoy the football, because I know there's football on later as well. Bye for now. Thank you very much, everyone.